are pretty obvious. Some of these might not be so obvious. And now, if you know some of these tips, please don't hate. I'm just trying to, like, the tips that are pretty obvious, you know, are mainly, for the most part, would be directed to new players. Because, like, a lot of experienced players, they might know these tips. Me include, like, you know, like, of course, that's all I'm showing you guys. But if you do know some of these tips, please don't hate. And you know, it would be, you know, mean a lot if you could, you know, actually, I don't know at that point. But, okay, let's begin. So, we're gonna get a Devo here, a Devotion, and a, we're just gonna get, no, we're actually going to just get a blue stock, a blue bale stabilizer, that, and then, okay. So, for the Devo, you know, you already know, the Devotion, will it hit by charger? It doesn't have a wind up. It just instantly starts shooting, but it does take a while for it to get to its max fire rate. Like, it does, like with the Devotion, it does only, like, wind up, but, like, it takes a minute for it to get to the fire rate. Now, with the Havoc, if you take the turbocharger, oh, okay, that makes no sense, but, and then, okay, yeah, I do need a turbocharger for the Devo, but then if you put a turbocharger on the Devotion, it's basically already at that fire rate, so that's, so, you know, that's pretty obvious. But then the Havoc, so if you're running a Havoc, here's why you're gonna want a turbocharger even more than a Devotion, is with the Havoc, it has a wind up. It takes around like 2 to 3 seconds for it to wind up, but then to start shooting. But then if you put the turbocharger on there, it instantly starts shooting like an assault rifle. Now for my next tip, we're gonna need to get a PK, Peacekeeper. Now I know you already know, you know, with this new update you can enable and disable the choke with same with the triple take, but and you know you can charge it up to do a good bit of damage. But what you might / might not have known is the choke, and the Peacekeeper in general. I think even with the choke, like even without charged up. So we're gonna wait for that, and then just flat out plain firing it without charging. That can do a decent bit of damage. Then if you move farther back, you're gonna charge shot at the time. 44 damage. And that's okay. No, let me actually. That's 81 meters. That's 81 meters with it still doing 40-something damage. Now if you come all the way over here and charge 26
Let's go this way.
from 95 meters. Now we're gonna try.
Cancel that.
Here.
Let's go this way.
Well, okay, no, we're gonna ping the enemy.
Hostile over there.
103 meters. Okay, I missed that shot. It's 33rd. Okay, leave me alone. Then 18 damage. Blind firing. Wait, okay, that. I don't. How's it? Stewing around, you know, like, granted, that's not a lot of damage, yes, I know. But still, for a shotgun being able to do damage from that far, that is, you know, you could say impressive or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, like, I know you're never gonna want to waste a Peacekeeper, like, your Peacekeeper shots on that far. You know, like, I get that. But that's just a little tip. And then we're gonna try. Let me see what other weapon we got here. Let me look. Okay, so now we're gonna try the charge rifle. The charge rifle, as you know, it's a charge rifle, you know, that's what it does. And now I don't need a scope. I don't need to get a good scope. We're just gonna get a 3x. But as you know, you need to get, as you know, now it takes 2 shots instead of 1, and the magazine size was increased from 4 to 8. Now, and this is another obvious, this is an obvious one, of course. like it's an obvious one. So the entire time it shoots from the charge up to the big blast to the big blast, it can do damage. See, that's what it takes to take out a purple shield with a charge rifle from
Enemy over there.
about 100 meters exactly.
Target spotted.
Like around like 199 meters. Now granted, most of the damage is in the big blast, but you know, that extra I missed. My aim is not doing that good today. But the extra like 20 damage can come in handy, because that's 20 and then the big blast is a 90. So that's like over 100 damage. Then, okay, we're gonna actually finish this guy off. And then if you aim for the head, it's kind of hard to aim for the head from this far. If you aim for the head, it does, the big blast does 116 damage. The big blast. Like if you hit the entire thing, like if you hit like from the time it charges to the time it stops, to the time it like stops shooting, then in the head it can do like around like 150 damage, 160, because the big blast, oh my god, my aim, but the big blast, I'm trying to get on the head, give me a minute. The big blast does, as you saw me doing earlier, the big blast does do 116 damage. And like, you know, the big blast is 116 damage. Now we're also gonna move to some legend tips. I should have put that in the video. We're gonna start with Bloodhound. Now, as you know, he can scan, and it recharges if you have a gold helmet. You know, it recharges around like 20 seconds, 25. But then if you remove it, it will, that's because it's already charging, but if you remove the gold helmet, in total is a 30-second recharge. Let me just wait, and then if without a gold helmet, it's a 25, okay, never mind, that was 30. My bad, but it's a 25-second recharge. And then if you activate your ultimate, as you all know with this new season, he can do his scan every 5 seconds. Now what you're going to want to do is, with the scan, like being able to scan every 5 seconds, now normally, you know, you're going to be using your ultimate to push squads, you know, with your team. Now you're going to want to be popping that ult, like if you're pushing, you're going to want to be popping that ult every chance you get. Now, like, I'm not saying in the middle of a fight, like if you're shooting at somebody and they're shooting at you, take time to stop shooting and pop your ult. No. Like if you see somebody and like they're shooting at you, shoot them back. But like every chance you get, you're going to want to pop that ult. Because being able to use it every 5 seconds can really come in handy. And especially with every kill / knockdown, it adds more time to Bloodhound's ult. Next, we're gonna move on to, let's see, I don't know anything about Watson and Empire because I don't have those. We're gonna move on to Gibraltar. Now, I don't have a teammate to demonstrate this with, but one thing that Gibraltar can do is, it's pretty obvious as well, but you know, like I said, the more obvious tips are for the new players. If you put down a shield and your down teammate gets inside, you can actually do a faster revive, like how Lifeline and Combat Res, you know, which is like it's not a faster, like for the Lifeline Combat, it's not really a faster revive, it's just they get the revive themselves. But with Gibraltar's but with Gibraltar's shield, he can toss it down, they can crawl, like your down teammate can crawl inside the dome, and you can pick him up pretty fast. Well, not pretty fast, but you pick him up quicker than normal revives. Next, we're gonna move to my boy Pathfinder.
Here I come, back from the sky.
Now, Pathfinder can grapple onto almost anything. Keyword, almost. He can grapple people to bring them over to him, and that's the dumbest thing I've died. But you can grapple people you can grab, and also I'm gonna give you some tips for Pathfinder's grapple. Like, not his ultimate, his grapple, like not his zipline. I gotta wait for it to recharge. Okay, I need to get some ultimate summons. No, that's ultimate. Okay, I'm stupid. I don't know what's saying. But what you're gonna want to do in terms of being able to get pretty far and grappling, you're gonna want to, let me find a good spot. You're gonna want to grapple and then move your joystick. Like, if he's swinging left, move the joystick or whatever, like if you're playing on PlayStation, Xbox. If you're playing on PlayStation, Xbox, move your joystick with the direction he's moving. So if he's grappling it to an object on your right, so that means he's swinging left, gradually move your joystick with his grapple, like whenever he's grappling. And then if you're playing on PC, then, well, if I had to play Nintendo Switch, like, well, I don't even know if it's available, Apex is available on Switch. But then, like, if you're playing on PC, just use your, like, whatever keys you use. I don't play PC, so I wouldn't know that. I never play PC. Now we're gonna go on to, Mirage.
Here I come. Mirage
Now,
to the rescue.
this is
Being rescued.
a obvious one as well, but he can, he can use his decoys and he can control them.
Not the decoy.
And then if somebody shoots him, it'll reveal the location, of the person. Not in real time like Bloodhound's ult, but it'll give a rough, like a pretty, like it'll say like where they're at, and just like if somebody goes through Watson's fence, and he can go invisible whenever he reses his teammates and revives his teammates, reses and then respawns his teammates, and then that. But then if you get too close enough, you'll see the lights from whatever he has on its arms. And then I don't know why I need the charge out. But then for Mirage's ult, a little tip is use it and then move in circles with them. Because yes, you instantly gain control. Yes, even if I'm not moving in circles, you instantly gain control of the ult decoys. You instantly, you cannot disable control or enable control like you can with your normal decoy.
Damn, he's good looking.
And in that, you can spin around, and then they're not gonna know who's the which one. Granted, Bloodhound's scan can identify the real one. It'll have a little triangle sort of thing, like a white triangle on the real one. So if there's a Bloodhound, it won't really work. But on it can work for other people. You use the decoy, use your ultimate, and then you spin with them. Now, they might know because of the direction they're using it. They might know if you're spinning with them, but they also might not, because see, they follow my movements even if I'm not spinning with them, even if I'm not doing the spin. So no matter what, you have control of them. Next, we're gonna go on to Loba. Now, I don't play Loba that much, so I don't really know much about it. But just know, a little tip. Hey, jump drive or whatever. It's not really ideal for, it can be used for running away, but if you're trying to just snag your teammate's banner and get out, the people there, it's not really going to be the best to get away from enemies, if they know you're there, or they see you, how Wraith's ult is, even though Wraith's takes a second longer to use. Her jump drive isn't going to be the best from escaping, enemies, just because, granted, you can drop her to the ground, but you won't really get far. So, lesson, little, tip, her jump drive won't really be ideal for running away. It can be used for running away, but in certain situations, it's not going to be the best for running away. If they see you, for example, take this dummy for example. If this is a player, and he sees me, and I try to throw my jump drive to get away. I have to wait until it hits the ground before I teleport. Granted, I can click the button to drop it to the ground, but whenever you drop it to the ground, like by itself, whenever you choose to drop it to the ground manually, it doesn't really get you that far. It decreases your range and how far you can go. And then for her black market, you're gonna, whenever you toss it, you can, as you know, you can get any two items, whether that being, you know, attachments, like helmets, heals, throwables, weapons, ammo. It can be anything, and it can be used as cover, because it can take damage, but it can be destroyed. But also, like, you know, it can be used as a little short thing of cover. But whenever you're done, like whenever you and your teammates are done using it, you're gonna wanna. It's gonna be best if you collapse it, because other people can come by and use your black market. And her jump drive, can't really test it here because, you know, it's firing range, but it is small enough to throw through windows. Let me see if any like place has something small enough that I can test this. Trying to see. Yeah, I don't really think there's any place I can go that's like equivalent to a window or something like that. But it is small enough to go through windows, even the windows that are like have the iron bars on them. So, you know, there's that. And then crypto.
They tried to get rid of me. They
failed. Now. Okay, I'm back.
Thought you weren't talking to nobody.
I'm talking to the people that are watching.
You thought you weren't talking to nobody.
Like in the party, no, but I'm talking to people that are watching.
Oh, people that are watching?
Yeah.
Hey, people that are watching!
If anybody is.
How y'all doing?
This is not really ideal.
Sure it is. If you're gonna stream, you gotta deal with the little bit.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. But crypto, back to where I was. Crypto is drawn.
Putting an eye in the sky.
It does have a limited amount of range. It does have a limited amount of range. The range goes for both flying up and just flat out flying away from Crypto himself. Now, his EMP,
Executing reboot.
it takes shield damage. Would take shield. Only shield.
I'm recalling my drone.
So, you know, like his shield, like if somebody doesn't have any shield, then the EMP is not gonna affect them. But granted, the EMP can stun your enemy, like not your enemy, but your teammates. It doesn't take shield away from them, but it does give them that little stun that the EMP gives. And he can, with his drone,
Getting my
he
eyes in the sky.
can not revive. He can scan save where begins with this new
Backing out of
with
my
this
drone.
new
I'm
patch,
good to go.
with this new season. So he can do that, and then he can also respawn teammates. He can scan enemies like that in real time. So gonna enter the drone,
Switching to drone view. Watch my back.
and then I don't know how to.
Enemy right here.
And scanning, or just getting in the view of them, actually. Just getting in the view,
One of them's right here.
scanning them
Enemy
too.
agent right here.
But that does give
recalling my drone.
give your teammates real-time locations of the enemies, just like, sorry, my aim is really bad, but just like Bloodhound scan. And so crypto can be a good addition. Just don't spend too much time on your drone, or else you're gonna have some angry teammates. Next is my boy Caustic.
Enlightening.
Now his traps
Maybe a gas
can be triggered by gunshots. So good tip is, if you know, like, if you're trying to like run away or just like from somebody, or just tactically position the traps or whatever. Like, let's just say you're running away from a squad. You can toss a trap,
Another gas trap.
turn around, shoot it. Turn around, shoot it. And he can also, and as you know, he can see through it. Like, he can see through the traps. So you can, like, if you're like,
Introducing a new variant.
to make it better, like if you're like, whether you're running away or if you want to use them in combat, you can toss one and then shoot it. Like, don't shoot the bottom, because if you shoot the bottom, like that part,
Deployed.
it disables the trap. So you're gonna want to shoot, like, you're gonna want to shoot the let me adjust
Deploying
this.
a variable.
You're gonna want to shoot to the like stop the gas. You're gonna want to shoot like this rubber part thing or whatever, and then so you know, shoot it.
My vision is
And
clear.
your teammates can run through it. It won't hit them. It's just their screen will get a little like they'll just get like,
My vision is clear.
not blurry, but it'll be like sort of hard for them to see. And then Caustic's ultimate. Let me use this. Just go ahead and get it. Caustic's ult, as you know, a gas grenade. Now, it is basically a sort of better version of his traps, because his traps
Gas trap deployed.
have to either be shot at the top or manually triggered by an enemy. So for like them to be triggered by an enemy has to walk within the vicinity of them. And then for them to be triggered by gunshots, you know, you just shoot anywhere from here to there. And so his ult is, you do that, and then you can toss it,
Gas deployed.
and then it's what it is
See everything.
it's a caustic, it's a gas trap, but it has a wider range, as you can see, because like that, it has a way wider range.
My vision is clear. My vision
And
is clear.
like, I don't know about a way wider range, but it does have a wider range, and also sticks around for, like, it sticks around longer. The gas sticks on longer. And I don't know if it does increased damage. It may not. It may do increased damage. It may not do increased damage. Then we're gonna move on to my boy Rev.
Why can't I just die already?
Okay then. So with Rev, he has, you know, his silence.
Set him up good.
Now, it does only do like 10 damage if an enemy is close enough to it. It doesn't do damage over time. It just
Shut
Kid.
up and die.
it can direct impact them, and if you walk close enough to it, and it disables their. But that's not the important part. The main part is like the main important part about it is it disables enemy abilities like ults and tacticals for 20 seconds, and then you have. I'm not really doing tips. I'm just explaining them. Then you have his totem.
Don't be afraid of the shadows.
And then what you do is you enter death protection. You're basically now in the totem, in the death protection. You're not invincible. You have a second life. So still shoot, so do all that. But and as we have in the shadow, you can still use ults or use his attack, tactical ability. But you cannot heal while in death protection, because it just says you can't use in death protection. And the death protection, as you can see, it does have a countdown. So like you only have it for like a limited amount of time. But also shields do not apply in death protection. So whenever you're using death protection, whenever someone shoots you, it ignores your shield and goes to your health. But it's not actually your health. But whenever that death protection bar goes all the way down, you go back to the totem. You spawn back at the totem. So since I placed it like right here, I would spawn back right here if I, died in the death protection. And you can only use it once. And enemies can use your totem. So like, let's just say if there's somebody here, I could pop my totem.
Welcome to the
and
shadows.
They could enter as well. So I can enter it, you and your teammates can enter it. But also enemies can enter it. If they come by and it's still there, normally if it's still there, that means somebody's in death protection, because as you see, I'm the only one on my team. Whenever I get out of death protection, it'll instantly close down. So if you see a totem, then like you're not gonna just randomly be running around like, oh, just running around, and you're not just gonna randomly see a totem just sitting there. You might, but it's not likely. And if you do see a totem just like while you're running around, you're more than likely running to a fight and an enemy who have placed his totem there. So like as you saw, as soon as I exited death protection, the totem disappeared. So it'll disappear once everybody is out of death protection. So if I had a teammate here and I entered death protection and I exited death protection first, but they were still in death protection, the totem would still be there until they exited death protection. So Rev is a really team, you could say, like, he does work in aggressive plays. That's mainly what he is, like, what he's in, because, for his totem, whenever you use it, you're gonna want to push, or you're mainly gonna use your totem to either push a team, or either they're coming to push you, and you're gonna use the totem to sort of catch them off guard, per se. So he plays aggressive, like he's an aggressive legend, because his ability, terminating legend abilities for 20 seconds, then his totem giving you a second life. That's Rev. Then
I return to the hunt.
okay, here, fine range up. Oh, I'm still putting the shadows over.
Scanning the area.
But then that's basically all I got. I mean, I mainly did legend tips, but I hope out of these tips, I hope they were useful, and I hope that they can help you, maybe potentially win games, because, that's the whole point of tips, trying to, oh, my name's bad, but, that's the whole point of tips, trying to, help you, and so yeah, I hope these tips help you all out into getting wins, even though most of them were obvious, more than likely, but like, just, if I sort of tip, if I gave one that was like obvious, don't hate just because you know the tip, because somebody else might not. Like I might, like a tip I said, you might know it, but somebody else might not know it. So you know, just because you know it, that's not a reason to hate. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. I hope these were useful, and if you did know them, then you know that's okay. But you know, if you didn't know them, I hope they helped. As I've said multiple times, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll, yeah, like I said, I'll catch you guys.